Half a great first half for your Sacramento Kings. 70-65 going into the locker room with a 5 point lead over the Mavericks. Kings, you want to talk about balance offensively? 35 points in the first quarter, 35 points in the second quarter for around 70 for the game. The Kings almost a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, about as good of a performance offensively as you could ask for in the first half. And I'm joined right now by the man, the legend, Mr. Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, good evening. How you doing today?
Well, great. Just what a fun half. If you like offensive basketball, and most people do, you're seeing some great stars and two teams that can really score.
Yeah, it's somewhat contrasting styles at time. A lot more isolation for Dallas, yet they play up tempo. But I was just saying before you came on, about as good of an offensive effort as you could ask for the Kings. Four starters in double digits. What did you see on the offensive end, Jerry?
Well, I think Kings doing what the Kings do. I mean, obviously, with Sabonis and Fox playing at amazingly high levels, and but everybody's gotten involved, and getting Duarte a start, and he's been extremely effective. Harrison Barnes more active. Keegan, I mean, it's just been a terrific all around performance, and as you pointed out very correctly. I mean, it's two contrasting styles, which I have no problem with either. I think the Kings, know what their strengths are. They're better cutters, movers, a little more unselfish play. But when you've got Luca and Kyrie Irving, you've got two great one-on-one players, and Jason Kidd. It's like, hey, go to our great one-on-one players and play off of those guys. So, it's just makes for fun basketball.
Yeah, it does. And I liked what Mike Brown did defensively in the first half against Luca. He ran off this pick and rolls. He was running two guys at Luca and doubling, which I thought was really good. And Jerry, anytime you hold Kyrie and Luca both under 20 points and a half, you're going to be looking good. How do the Kings continue that momentum defensively in the second half?
Well, I think you hit on it. I mean, I think you've got to run at those guys. I mean, now it's tough when they're both on the floor at the same time, but certainly there's minutes when it's Luca's out there and Kyrie's getting a blow because, and then when Luca goes out, Kyrie's going to be the main focus. So I
Yeah.
think just running, getting the ball out of either one of those guys' hands when the other guy's not on the floor could be the difference. We're seeing. Dallas do a little bit of the same thing to Fox,
Yeah.
trying to run at him, especially out high, and get it out of his hands. I mean, it's easy to say and hard to do, even with that kind of strategy, because those guys they can beat double teams, and you know as Fox can just as easily, or if not easier, than either one of the Dallas stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Jerry and Fox did a great job when he did need to get rid of the ball. He was second leading in assists for the Kings in the first half and had zero turnovers right before the final horn of the first half. So hopefully that continues for De'Aaron. What do we say about Domas, Jerry? 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. It seems like Dallas really has no answer for him down low.
Well, and Domas really just kind of takes what's there. I mean, he's a highly skilled guy. I think sometimes that's overlooked how skilled he is. Like say, if a guy cuts and's open, he gets the ball. He can get the ball to him. He can score around the basket. He's getting a little more comfortable stepping out and beating people off the dribble as well. And no, I think his physicality is tough for Dallas to match up with, because he kind of stings them a little bit in there, and
Yeah.
and kind of so it's all good. I mean, like I say, the bottom line is Domas had the great stats first half, may not second half, because if other things are going well, he doesn't necessarily look for stats; he just plays.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does this. He does just play, and usually he's doing something positive for this Kings team when he's on the floor. So Kevin Herter out tonight, and Chris Duarte steps into the starting lineup for Kevin. A lot of fans concerned that there may be some drop off, but Duarte playing a great first half. What have you seen?
Well, exactly what you said. I mean, he really has. I mean, obviously, he's a pretty good defender, and I mean, really gives a good effort We've seen that. We haven't probably seen quite the consistent offense, but a lot of players, once they get consistent minutes or long minutes, they will get more comfortable. And I will say this for Duarte. I mean, it's no doubt playing with Sabonis in
Yes.
Indiana, you can kind of see the comfort zone there. And I think that makes it, very comfortable. But I mean, the bottom line is he's done a nice job. And more importantly, if you're Mike Brown, you got another answer, on your bench normally.
Yeah, and Chris Duarte with three fouls in the first half. I mean, Jerry, to me, it's used the fouls up. I mean, I think the Kings have a little bit of depth there at that two guard position. But one thing I noticed is the Kings aren't really picking up full court or three-quarters court. And at times, Luke is bringing the ball up right to the free throw line. If you're Mike Brown and the Kings, is that something you consider here in the third quarter?
I think you would. I think you want to really get up and pressure Luke earlier in my
Yeah.
mind, because if he gets around the top of the key, I mean, he's basically unguardable. He's so strong and smart and creative. He's going to get the line or get baskets or get somebody else baskets. So I just think, boy, the sooner you and he's not that explosive. He's not like Fox that way. And so if you try to get up into him before he crosses the line, make him, at least use half the clock getting in play, I think it'd be a real advantage.
Yeah, great point there, Jerry. And looking at the way this game played out or has played out thus far, Dallas on the second end of a back-to-back, a tough back-to-back, losing last night in Milwaukee. To me, it looks like the third quarter is where the Kings could really come out and make their impression. What do the Kings need to do to have a strong third quarter and maybe put this game away early?
Well, I think more of just what they've been doing, with the exception of the points you made, and we've talked about. I mean, put a little more pressure on the Mavs, especially. Pick up quicker, try to overplay. Anything you can do to Irving and Kyrie and Luka, that gives you a chance to win. I watched that game last night, and they had a chance to beat Milwaukee. And
Yes, they
Milwaukee,
did.
it just came right down to it. So. Yeah, if you could just get a little separation here early in the third, it'd make it a lot smoother for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Kings right now leading the Dallas Mavericks 70-65 after the first half. Third quarter getting ready to start pretty soon. Jerry Reynolds joining us, by the way. Jerry, Harrison Barnes, it looked like Mike Brown made a concerted effort to get him involved in the game plan right off the bat, and he responded better than he has in previous games with 9 points in the first half. Could Harrison be kind of that secret weapon the Kings could use down on the post against Dallas here in the third and fourth quarters?
Oh, I think so. I think that's probably been an area where he's been underused. I think that especially with Sabonis, when he's high, you could slide him in there, let him post up underneath. We've talked about this before, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Coach Brown has really kind of made an effort to get uh, Harrison involved, and that's something else. Harrison's not the kind of guy to go out looking for his own stuff. He really is a kind of a fit in kind of guy, and so I think it's always a little bit like Keegan was last year.
Yeah.
And now he's looking for his shot and scoring opportunities more, and so I think that's a good move. Get Harrison involved early if you can, and get him involved. I think at the low post a little more, and I think this team gets better.
Yeah, it seems like the Kings have a strength advantage at multiple positions tonight, and I'd like to see them, like you said, kind of exploit that at times. Starts kind of with Harrison, but Sabonis doing the bulk of that dirty work down low. So again, you're joining Jerry Reynolds and Ryan and Sacktown here on the halftime show. And if you don't like that, give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you have not already, Grant may be here for the post game. He's got a few things going. If not, I will be wrapping it up and maybe have a few surprises up my sleeve. But so make sure you join us for that as well. So Kings 70-65, 35 points in the first quarter, 35 points in the second quarter. Jerry, give me a final score for this game, and everybody in the chat, put your final scores in as well.
Well, Kings 133, Mavs 130. How's that?
Close game. Okay. And what would be your two keys to seeing that through for the Kings?
I think the main thing is really get rid of some of the ticky tack fouls. Don't put Luke
Yes.
on the line so much. Make him make baskets. Not that he can't, but of course he can. But
Yeah.
don't give him the easy points. I'd say that is really the key. And just keep going through the ox in the middle. Get cutting.
The ox.
Share the ball, boys. Just like they're doing the ox and the fox, man. Tough to beat.
I've never. Did you just make that up? The ox and the
No,
fox?
they had T-shirts. I think when he first arrived here, the ox and the fox, and I thought, that's works pretty good for me.
Interesting. I like it. I like it indeed. Thank you for your scores. We'll start reading some of those off. But Jerry, I thought the Kings did a great job of getting back into it from a physical aspect in the second quarter without fouling. They were getting out rebounded after the first quarter. But now at the end of the first half, they're just about even in rebounds. So I think the Kings need to limit the offensive rebounds for Dallas. That's where they get into a little bit of trouble. But I'm with you with those keys. The one and only Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, thank you so much for joining us here on the Halftime Show. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Always enjoy it, Ryan. And, hey, bring them home.
Yes, indeed. That is Jerry Reynolds. Always so fun having Jerry here on the Halftime Show. Paul has the Kings 128-124. I guess that one passed me by. Jesus, Fox and the Ox. I had not heard that one before. Let's see. We've got 133, 130. Oh, we've got a Mavs score. Amar saying Mavs 125, 122. All right. Well, I think the one thing that we can all agree on here is this was about as good of a first half as you could ask for by this Sacramento Kings team. The fact that 4 starters are in double digits and the one that's not has 9 points. Not too bad. Chris Duarte, I mean, what can you say? Giving you 11 points in the starting lineup tonight. The bench, only 7 points from them so far. A little bit more to be desired, but I think this is going to be a game where you're going to have Sasha get some really good looks, and I think he's also going to get some more opportunities here in the second half. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on If You Don't Like That, and don't forget to go check out Bennett's Westside Grill. That's Bennett's newest location, located in Rockland. Same old Bennett's, beautiful ambiance, beautiful restaurant, and amazing food as always. Prime cuts of steak and seafood, awesome salads, soups, and burgers, and anything you can pretty much think of. Locations also in Roseville and off of Howe in Fair Oaks. If you haven't already, check out some of their weekend specials. They got the weekend prime rib and also weekend brunch. Can't beat brunch and mimosas at Bennett's on their beautiful patio. Go give Bennett's a try. Tell them you heard about them here on If You Don't Like That. All right, they're getting ready to start the third quarter of action. Again, big thanks to Jerry Reynolds for joining us here on the Halftime Show. Kings currently leading by 5 points, 70-65 in Dallas. Hoping that we'll have a Kings win. Either way, we'll be here to discuss it on the post-game show. Again, give us a thumbs up. This is Grant's channel. If you don't like that, subscribe if you haven't already. We would really appreciate it, and we will see you after the game.